yards, three-piece sweep. Would you like to hear the whole thing, or?
What's your favorite movement?
It switches by the day,
What's
by the
your
practice
favorite
section.
movement?
I really want to work on the second movement.
Okay.
I've been wanting to focus more on doing some of the nuances and vibrato and like tone color and things like that.
Great.
You need that for this piece, right, which is such a standard
Yeah.
in our literature. So you said you wanted to talk about maybe different tone colors and vibrato.
Yeah, I definitely want to do some of those nuances because it definitely does like change moods kind of halfway through.
That is absolutely true. Yes.
So I want to kind of dig into that.
Yeah. I want to talk about something that's related to that, but also I think it's going to be relevant to something that when we're all working on music, and I say something like this, thank you, to my students all the time. I feel like you're saving all of your best sound for just the long notes,
Okay.
and the fast notes are kind of getting maybe 65% love, and the long notes are getting 100% love. Do you feel that? Do you know what I mean? Did you guys hear that? It's just like when you get to the long notes, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
it's this rich tone color. You really dig into the vibrato, and I like that you're not using vibrato on the moving notes. I think that's the right choice. But I do feel like, and this is what I say to my students. I have a lot of really weird analogies when I'm teaching. But I feel like when your eyeballs are looking at a whole bunch of different notes, even if they're connected with a slur, your eyeballs are telling your brain these are all different notes, and to sort of blow separately for each of them, sort of restarting each note. And what I need you to do is tell your eyeballs to lie to your brain about what they're seeing, right? Tell your eyeballs to tell your brain that it's a whole note. It's a whole note. Blow for a whole note. Tell your brain to tell your lungs to blow for a whole note, but it's a magic whole note that changes pitch.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Can we go back to the beginning and just hear some of the part of that phrasing? And if we can, even in that third measure of the melody, if you can connect all of these 16th notes as if it were, well, I guess we're in 3, so it's a dotted half note.
Yeah.
Right? If you can just blow as if it's one sustained note, but just move your fingers on top of it.
Okay.
You know, you've seen the videos of people where like one person is blowing and the other person is doing the fingers. Try to separate yourself like that.
Okay.
Like the blowing part is like one person and the fingers is a different person.
Okay.
Good. Are you starting to run out of air already in this third measure?
Maybe.
It sounds like it. What if you took a breath before there? I feel like you would be able to do a lot more at the top of that phrase. Already it sounded more connected, right? Yeah? I felt in general you were on the cusp of running out of air a lot.
Okay.
Yeah? Which is a difficult place to be in as a flute player, because like that's our one job is to have air, right? And if you're starting to run out of air, a couple things can go wrong. Pitch can start to go a little under, and then also if your brain gets, like it's your brain that needs fresh oxygen, right? And if you are denying it that, it will, in desperation, mess you up on purpose so that you'll stop and breathe. Has anybody ever had that happen? Right? It's not a problem with your technique, it's a problem that you're running out of air. And then your brain is like, ah! And like throws a wrench in the works so that you will stop and breathe, because otherwise brain cells will die.
Okay.
Yeah, it's self-preservation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's try that. Breathe after those first 2 measures, and I think you'll feel a lot more comfortable doing more in the third and fourth measures. Yes, that was so lovely. So lovely. Yeah, absolutely. That was, it's just so much better. I love it. I love it. It didn't feel like you were restraining yourself.
Yeah.
Right? And I know it's marked piano. I know it's marked piano. But we're here to hear you.
Okay.
Right? And we have a silent piano right now.
Yeah.
But on top of the piano, we still need to be able to hear your sound. They bought tickets to the Emily show.
Oh. Okay.
Right? They are here to hear you. And if you try to like hide inside of your instrument, like it's piano, right? That's not going to be enjoyable for anybody, right? You're holding back all of that like expression that I know is in there because it's beautiful. But I think everybody will have a better time if you kind of maybe go a little above that piano.
Okay.
Yeah?
can do
We
that.
want contrast, but we also want it to be supported and beautiful and sing out, right?
Mhm.
It's a fine line. Yes, 5 minutes. Thank you. All right. It's so lovely. And I know we've only gotten through 4 measures, but can you tell me where you want to go in this third and fourth measure of where you're playing? Where do you feel that the height of those 2 measures is? What's the note or the beat that you're going to? Because right now it's a little bit confused in my ear. Like I'm having trouble as a listener telling exactly what you want me to interpret.
I definitely kind of think of it as moving along like with the rise and the fall of the notes.
Yes, absolutely. But I think that with this phrase, sorry, I didn't have my music reading glasses on anywhere. Right, do you hear this D is an appoggiatura?
Yeah.
Right? And even though we go up to an E before that, and that's technically the highest, I think if we go up for the E and then also for the D, it's a little confusing. They're like, what do we listen for, right? What you were doing before was kind of like both, right? So I'm trying to not bring out the high E as much as the flute wants it to come out. Like high E wants to be really loud, but I'm kind of blowing through it and trying to aim for the next big beat. Because when you're, if you had to choose, like what are the most important beats, it's probably not going to be beat 3 and 3, 4, right? So we want to aim for 1. And also there's conveniently an appoggiatura there. Does anybody know what an appoggiatura is? Anybody want to say?
It's a leap and then a step in the opposite direction. I took theory without drawings.
Okay, good. So an appoggiatura is a non-chord tone, technically, that starts like the beat is the note sounding on the beat does not fit into the chord, and then it resolves into the chord. And what the word appoggiatura means in Italian has nothing to do with music. It means to lean. That's literally just if you're leaning on the wall, that's appoggiatura, right? So appoggiatura doesn't tell you what it is, it tells you what to do. So if you can lean more on that appoggiatura, that would be great. And then we'll keep going. Yeah.
I'm just
Sounds great. Good. I know I told you not to bring out the E, but we want to blow through that into the downbeat.
Okay.
It's so hard. It's so hard because then it starts to go back down again. We want to blow all the way through to land on B1. Yeah, good. Do you think that so you're not taking a breath there at the end of those 2 measures, will you make it through another 2 measures without breathing there?
maybe I should take it.
Maybe take a breath there. Yeah? It's time. Oh, 15 minutes is so short.
I know, right?
It's so short, but you sound beautiful, and I really love what you're doing with this. And I think you'll be able to shape it a lot more with more air.
That's true.
And trying to convince your brain that it's not a bunch of 16th notes.
That's true.
Yeah, it's all one big connected note. Okay?
Okay.
Thank
you
you.
very much.
More Emily's. Is it weird if I sit up here? Yeah. That's okay. All right.
I want to play the first movement, and I think I'm just going to play part of it so we can have more time.
Perfect. this piece.
You.
Is this something you've just been, how long have you been working on this piece?
This is my jury for the semester, so for a bit.
This semester,
Yeah.
basically?
Yeah, I really love this piece though.
No, I can tell. You know, when somebody really loves a piece, you can hear it, and you're definitely imparting that, which is really fantastic. I literally have like one thing for you,
Yeah.
and it has to do with all of these wide leaps.
Uh-huh.
Do you hear that there's like a tiny little break?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
right. So how do we get da da? It's like every single one of these is like a seventh or an octave, right? These are really, really wide leaps. How do we practice making something like that better? Do you know what's happening physically that's keeping it from being completely connected?
Ooh, I think it's just like the break in between like switching like my embouchure because I have a lot of like jaw tension. It's
Mhm.
really bad. I have PMJ, so sometimes I like to grip.
Okay.
And that affects it.
Just
a
like a
lot.
very tense person
Yes.
in general. I feel like we all are, right? And it's so hard when you get, to the practice room at the end of the day and you've been carrying around your backpack and you're just like, it's hard to just leave that tension at the door, right? And try not to bring it into your flute playing. Flute playing should be like the safe haven from all of the tension, right? You should leave all of the current news and everything out there so that you can have fun and be relaxed and make the most beautiful music, which you are like 99% of the way there. It's really lovely. Can we just do this very first? What I'm seeing is definitely tension in your upper lip, and I feel like your lip is in the way when you're trying to do this leap. It's like your air is trying to do the right thing, but your lip is in the way. So just try to keep it open. Ba. It's so hard. Good. I feel like you're saving the crescendo for the G. Can you do the crescendo on the A flat? Ba. That's so much better. Yes. Right. So physically, what was different about that?
I guess making sure everything's loose and also just thinking about pushing and not just like saving it for the G.
Absolutely, right? So we have to prepare leaps ahead of time, right? Let's say I'm gonna jump from here to here, up on the chair, whoop, right? I don't just hop up like a leprechaun, right? I have to push down from the floor before. I'm not gonna do it, don't worry. There's no way. But if I were, right, the energy has to come here to get me up there, right? You can't just fall up. That's not how the laws of physics work, right? So to get from down here to up there, you have to put in effort, right? If you were to stop the A flat, just the bottom note, if you were to stop that A flat at the end of the A flat, we should know that your next note was fixing to be pretty high, right? We should be able to hear that energy, hear the preparation, right? Like if you were doing right? You hear what's coming. If I just, that's very high school, right? Like we're not preparing that leap.
Yeah.
I've heard it that way many, many, many times, right? But we want, before a leap like that, it's here, it's literally like, that's like 6 instances in the first 2 lines. It's basically the entire piece.
Yeah.
But I'm nitpicking on this because everything else is just so beautiful and lovely. It's like so perfect, right? But you're working against yourself a little bit with this tension, and it's preventing these beautiful, beautiful like blossoming of notes to happen, right? Can we try just the first couple of lines and see if we can be extra conscious of these leaps? And even if it's marked, again, it's marked piano. The second one is marked piano, and you might be tempted to not crescendo that leap, but you really need to. Even just a tiny bit, okay? Okay, what are you afraid of? Are you afraid it's gonna crack?
Yeah.
What happens if it cracks? Will you fail?
No.
Will the earth cease to rotate?
No.
No. It's okay. If you crack, you crack.
Okay.
Be vulnerable. It's okay. perfect. And then the next two, you second guessed yourself and you cheated a little bit by articulating those leaps, right? Which does ensure that they'll come out, but it's not what Vidor wrote, right? But those first two are absolutely perfect. Did you guys hear that? So gorgeous, so gorgeous. Just took you to like the highest level there. Can we try this one? Don't be afraid of it. It is wider. The first two were a seventh. This one is a full octave, right? Ta. Yes. It's beautiful. That's absolutely right. Yeah. Are there specific sections in here that you want to work on? Because it really is lovely.
Maybe a little bit of going into like the vivo section.
Yeah.
It's, like, extra wanders and it's a different like a shift there. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's
play.
like a cadenza but not a cadenza.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really tricky because you do have to still fit with the piano but won't make it sound exciting. And, can we go like there maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. Do all of that in one breath, and then breathe between the two A flats. Because this is, when we have writing like this, it's so awkward because you have a trill and they have grace notes, and you can't really breathe after any of them. Breathing after a trill is awkward. Breathing after grace notes, no, right? So we just kind of have to keep going, right? That was so lovely. I'm a little bit concerned about holding the tied notes quite long enough, right? Making sure that you're subdividing in there. So this rhythm at the 2/4 there is really interesting because a lot of people play that incorrectly, so that they play this like a pickup and then that on beat two, and you played it the right time, but then you didn't hold it long enough. Yeah. So you kind of like combine the two versions. So something like. So I'm like tapping my foot really loud so you can feel like where the downbeat is, and you hear how that was just maybe a little bit longer than the way you had played it, right? Because we do want that to be able to fit together with the piano. Is your jury with piano or without piano? So you definitely need to know these things and how they're going to interact. Very, very good. Can we go from here? We'll try the little trills. How are we doing on time? Good. Okay. 4 minutes. 4. Okay. Breath before you start. Yeah? See if you can get all the way to in between those A flats. Big breath. Oh yeah. You didn't even take one between the A flats. You made it. That was very good. That was very good. Do you want to go keep going in the vivo? Is this the part that gets scary? Yeah. I feel that. Start it slowly. Like in a little cadenza. Into this main theme that we had at the beginning, you have to be prepared to give a little nudge to your pianist, or that's not going to come together. Yeah, that was so great. I like how you're taking some time at the beginning of it. There are a couple of places where the technique is not 100% clean. Yeah. Are you hearing like the types of places where that's happening? because it's a lot of it is slurred, which means we can't hide anything, right? But I find it really fascinating that I could go on about this for a long time, but basically the lifting motion on the flute, like just lifting our fingers, is an unnatural motion, right? It's much weaker than putting fingers down, right? And that just has to do with the structure of our bodies, right? We evolved to like hold ourselves in trees, and you know, these are the strongest muscles. This is the first reflex a baby does when they're born. They'll grab your finger. It's another 9 months before they learn how to let go, right? So these are strong muscles, these are weak muscles. But we're playing on the flute and we're expected to do putting down and lifting up as if it's the same. And it's not the same. So most of the time, when your fingers aren't coming up together, it's because it's a lifting motion and it's a little bit weaker. And it's the same thing for me, it's the same thing for a lot of people, right? Doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you, it just means to be aware of it. And I'll literally just write it over my music, like lift. Just as a reminder, like, okay, this is, and again, if you tend to be too tense throughout your body, like the lifting is even harder, right? It's because you have got to be relaxed. And also understanding where the lifting is coming from. It's not coming from your fingers, it's not coming from your hand, but the control of the lifting is coming from here, right? Muscles right here on the back of your arm that are attached to tendons that go all the way into your fingers, right? So if I'm struggling with lifting like 2 fingers at a time, say even just like E flat to F, right? If those fingers don't want to go together, like getting in between notes, I think about here rather than here. I don't know if that is helpful at all, but I would take this section apart and just pay attention to da 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 dee da dee da dum ba da da dee. It's the lifting parts that are a little bit less clean. The putting down is fine. Do you hear it? It's always the upward motions, and then the down is fine. Good? You sound fantastic. This is a really great piece for you. Yay! Time for some Scooby-Doo.
I'm gonna start with variation 3.
Are you playing this for your jury?
No, I'm student teaching, so
Okay.
just for fun.
So you're playing it for fun.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Have you played it with piano? Do you have the
I've
opportunity to
not,
play with piano?
no.
Listen to the part?
I've listened to it. a
Okay.
lot.
So what's happening in the piano part?
It's like triplets. Yeah, triplets.
It's like triplets. Yeah, and if you're not feeling the triplets underneath, I feel like you are for most of it. Yeah?
Yeah.
But it feels almost like a lullaby. You just sort of have to float on top of the triplets. But if you don't have that piano part like firmly in your subconscious, when you try to put it together, it's going to be a mess, right? You're going to hear them play triplets, and you're going to think you're too fast or too slow, and it's never really going to gel. So you have to feel this kind of like floating on top of, I don't know, a raft in a gentle creek or something. It's really, really lovely. I mean, I hardly have anything to say to you. Like, what am I supposed to do with that, right? That was so, so lovely. And also, this is like the world's oldest copy of...
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, okay. Is this from IMSLP?
Yes, it is.
There's got to be a different copy on there, but you're just like, grab the first one.
Yes.
Right? It's like the original manuscript, basically. All right, okay. We can kind of see it. All right.
We have other variations ready too if you want to.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
that's... We will probably do that. There was one little spot with your rhythm was a little funky. I think it was...
It was down
there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was going triplets back into duple.
Exactly.
It's like a brain thing. But yeah.
No, I totally get that. But you, I mean, you got the next measure when it was basically the same thing. There was one spot that also wanted to crack.
I started that an octave too early, but there was a crack before that.
It was where?
The B,
Yes.
the B natural.
I'm not even finding it. Meow, meow.
I don't remember.
I don't know, right? I think it was maybe even here too. Like E, the E didn't crack, but I feel like the note after it, you were maybe pushing a little
Yeah,
bit
it was.
too.
Yeah, it was right there.
I think that's where
Yeah.
that was. So E, the middle E is such an unstable note. Do you know why?
No.
It's the first note that we're actually overblowing a harmonic, right? All the other notes from the low octave to the octave, the next octave up, you have a fingering change, like low C to C, D, first finger, right? We have the octave key.
Yeah.
And then E is the first one that you're actually just overblowing the low register. So what you're doing is really playing a harmonic. And so it's very difficult to aim that exactly where it needs to be so it doesn't crack up. And if it does crack up, like it would crack to the next harmonic, which would be a B, which is closer. Like that's a fifth instead of an octave, right? So it's a lot easier to crack that. So you nailed the E, but I think you started pushing maybe a little bit too fast, too soon. And so when you hit the A after that, it shot up to the next, the E in the high register. That's what happened. Can we do just sort of this last little section, make sure that we're completely good with our piano? Yeah, so you totally fixed that. I think it was one of the 30-second note moments. That was really good. I have like just tiny little nitpicky thing, which is the triplets here. When you have the articulated triplets, they're turning into, this happens a lot in Florida. I have a lot of students from South Florida, and we have triplets, especially like quarter note triplets. They become kind of like Latin, like da, 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 da. That's not a triplet. And yours is coming out a little bit like that. It was like a little bit uneven. Da, ya, dum, bum, bum, yes. Absolutely, yeah. And I think you could get away with that, except for that the piano's been doing it the entire time. That exact da-da-dee-da-da the whole time. So there's no getting away with anything. Sorry. All right.
And Dr. Alvarez wanted me to mention,
Yes.
I play, this is a Burkhart, and
Yes.
my pitch runs so low, and I've had it sent off, and they said the chord is like fine.
It's in the
but
right
it's
spot.
so low, yeah. It's constantly low, like I'm literally
You're
pushed in
pushing
all the way, all the time.
Yeah.
I'm never pulled out, ever.
Not even a tiny bit.
No, not even a tiny bit, ever.
Not even in the middle of summer.
No.
All right.
Yeah.
Not even in my hat office.
Yeah, not even when it's 90
Right.
degrees in her office. It's all the way pushed in.
That's really
Yeah.
all right. Well, I mean, everybody is built differently, right? I have a student who also plays Burkhart. I also play Burkhart, and I think it has to do with just like his jaw, and he just kind of like is really overly open all the time. And I'm like, okay, that's generally something that we want, right? That's going to help sort of mitigate like the high register shrillness and everything, but sometimes we do need to sort of not close back up, but not drop quite as down. Can you play the beginning of this one more time? I'm just gonna pay extra attention. I think overall it was like right on, but you're pushed in all the way. Whew. Okay. And you've tried everything. You're like using your abdominal muscles, and I'm sure she's had you stand on one leg and right, all of those things.
I also have my jaw. My jaw's actually locked, so like I can't open it like past like about that. So
Okay. So it's not
I've
that
got
it's too
tons,
open.
yeah.
But do you have like?
Can you play along on her flute? Like, can you play Sam's flute and see, since you have a regard also?
Yeah.
You have a flute stand right
You're
behind you.
correct. I know. Thank you. I know. All right. All right, I'm able to get it a little bit higher than you are, but it's.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe just more core support.
Does she need to use more air, like airspeed and air support?
Yeah.
I think it's also possible, and I'm actually going to recommend that to my student. And I've recommended it a couple times, and he's just really afraid to do it. But I think it is possible, like, because literally everybody is different, and it, maybe even pushed in is just not enough for you, that they can trim off like a millimeter of the end of your head joint, so that you could have that flexibility to push in more if you need to, or pull out. I don't know that.
What do you think?
I don't know. I took the tuner, and you can give it like about 13 to 20 sharp. You can.
I can.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like maybe it's like an air angle or anything.
Might just be
Or again, it's like, we can't see inside your mouth to see what's happening, and literally everybody is built differently. So it could also, be the placement of your tongue, or like any number of random things that affect intonation. I'm sorry, I don't have like a quick answer for that.
Yeah. How are we doing on time?
Oh, 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
I have variation more.
Variation one. Boom, boom. Such a gorgeous sound, and I can tell that like romantic music is like your favorite period, or else you're able to fake it really well. It's my favorite piece ever. I just recommend for this variation and for the ones that are more technical. I mean, you know what the piano is doing? Boom, boom, chick, chick, boom, chick, chick, boom, boom. It's pretty regular, and you're being so romantic with it. That is like boom, boom, chick, chick, boom, boom, chick, chick, right? So I do think that this one does want to be a little bit more metronomic, and if you want to bring out that first note, you can do that, but don't stretch it out rhythmically so much. I think that save that for the third variation. That's the really, beautiful, expressive, take your time and melt everybody's hearts. But this one is like can we try that, just the beginning? And I hate to make you play it more matter-of-factly, but I think that it's still going to be romantic in style. Yeah, it still sounds awesome, doesn't it? Yeah, and I think it'll be easier to put it together with the piano that way. Yeah, really, really nice. Are you thinking it in 4 or in 2?
In 4.
Can you try thinking it in 2? It's a really slow 2, but I think it's going to help your phrasing a lot. I say the same thing with like Mozart and Bach, like the fewer beats you can feel, the more music you can make, right? The more beats you're feeling, you're like tied to the ground. Like that. Yeah, really, really nice. Did you feel where there was a little bit of awkward? Did you notice what was happening? It was lifting fingers.
Yeah, it's between the F sharp and the E. Like,
it was actually the D sharp to the F, F sharp, yeah.
I'm using it.
Yeah.
Use the long F sharp.
Yeah. I agree. Yes, I think this for some reason is more awkward.
Yeah.
It's not going to want to lift together for sure. That we don't do this motion very much. Yeah, very good. When we get to here, you're making that rhythm a little bit different.
Okay.
And it's the same thing the next time, but there. Yeah. Yes. Very good. Yeah. How are we doing on time? That's it. All right. Thank you so much, Sam. Yay. All right. I'm not deserting you. I just want to experience this from out there. I'm so excited. Yay.
Will you airdrop this more? See if I can figure out how to do airdrop. Let's see if that pops up.
Should start like
Right on.
Yes, yeah. Okay. Like right there. Okay. Oh, and this is Moments Are Fleeting. I wrote this in 2023.
your performance, which was beautiful, and your piece, which was incredible. Great. I have some recommendations. I am not an expert in like flute and electronics at all, but there were some parts in the middle where it was a little hard to hear the alto.
Mm-hmm.
Just the alto by itself just tends to not be a very strong instrument. And so I wonder if it might be possible to mic the alto or bring down the levels when the middle section gets like kind of busy. Because I always want to hear you at the forefront.
Gotcha.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But that is absolutely incredible. You played one D sharp that was kind of out of tune at the beginning, like in the high register, but all the other ones you nailed. And that register of the alto was like impossible. And you nailed it.
Thank you.
Nailed it. All right, so these are my recommendations. Have you joined ASCAP or BMI? You need to do this. Do you know why?
No.
Okay. Even when this piece is being performed on Dr. Herman's new music concert next week, yes? There's like, this is an official concert at WKU. There's a program. Every concert that happens, the presenting institution pays technical rights to BMI and ASCAP. These are like associations of composers. And when their music gets paid, they get a little money back. And it doesn't matter if you're playing your own music, doesn't matter, like I randomly will get some like royalties for playing this recital I played that had some of my music on it, right? So it's never too soon to join. And I wish someone had given me that advice earlier in my career, right? Join. And you can join either one, and it's free. It's not like you have to pay membership, right? The more you can get your music on people's recitals, on this recital, there's the Kentucky Flute Society, there's the National Flute Association. And I'm going to recommend that you submit this piece to be performed at the NFA. And you can perform it yourself. You can ask Dr. Alvarez to play it. She might be more likely to be programmed, but it's an...
I think she should play it, or you should, or both.
Listen, it needs to be played. I don't know, have you haven't been to an NFA convention? There are entire concerts that are flute and electronics. Like they tend to schedule them all on the same concert because it's a lot of equipment and it takes a while to set everything up and take everything down, whatever. They tend to be early in the morning so like they can set everything up before the concert. And anyway, this piece is better than most of the ones I've heard on those concerts. I am not shitting you. Would I?
I've been to one, I agree.
Right?
Allison, you are so talented.
This needs to be heard, and people will go. The people who are into flute and electronics will all be at that concert, and they're going to hear your piece, and they're going to want to play your piece. And if you are not a member of BMI and ASCAP, or ASCAP, one or the other, you're going to be missing out on some dollars. Yeah? Something that you can do is have the music available, the score and the backtrack, everything. You can have that available for them for free. Don't charge them for that, or send them a PDF or something, and then they're more likely to play it. And then the money you make is not from the sales of the sheet music, but from the performance rights.
I see.
Yeah, so that's my recommendation. Join BMI.
Okay.
I'm in BMI. I'm not going to say it's better than the other one, but that's, I don't know, I like it. Do that, and also submit it for NFA. I'm not kidding.
Okay.
Not kidding. It's really fantastic. Your sound on the alto, holy moly. And the scoring, I absolutely love. I love your harmonies. I love the buildup of tension through the use of rhythm. It's everything about it is fantastic. It's really great. Did you guys love it?
Yeah. Yes.
Did you know that Allison did this? Like, were you aware that Allison was capable of writing something like this? Have you heard music before? Yeah? No? Everybody's like blown away. It's like when you find out one of your friends has some hidden talent, you're like, you what? You do what? That's amazing. It's really fantastic. I don't have like anything else to fix. It's really lovely.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
speaking of hidden talents, Dr. Stoner is an artist and a jewelry maker. So like I'm wondering if you can tell them about your glass art and about your jewelry.
Oh, okay. I love playing the flute and I love making flute music, but it's like ephemeral. It's like you play it and then it's gone. It's out into the ether. But I also like to make art and jewelry art because then when I make it, it sticks around. And somebody asked me to bring some. I don't know if I have enough for everybody, but you're welcome to like look at. I have these like stone pendants that I make that go on necklaces. I might have enough, I'm not sure, but I'll get them out, and if you see something that like speaks to you, you're like, oh my gosh, I would totally wear that. Please take it for free because I really just make them for fun. They have prices on them, ignore it, for real. Anyway, and then also something fun that I did, I don't know if it was in the notes for the sonata that I wrote, that each of the paintings that inspired a movement, I've been like recreating those paintings using like thousands of tiny bits of unrecyclable plastic, like a crazy person, like mosaics, like glued together to create Starry Night, because I had time to do that during the pandemic. Anyway, I have pictures of those on my phone if anybody wants to see those. Anyway, yeah.
So like being creative and having balance in your life is important. You don't want to just be music robots.
What I say to my students, I mean, I definitely went to school with a number of young ladies who spent like 12 hours a day in the practice room. And yes, they had incredible technique. But if you spend your entire day in the practice room, what are you going to be saying in your music? Like, music is based on emotions that you have from human experience. And if you don't interact with other humans and have fun and go to the movies and go to Cheney's Dairy Barn and, you know, have fun, go out and live life, what are you going to be putting into your music? Right? I would always rather hear something that, you know, has that passion in it. Like all of you that played today. Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.